Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning, sir. Good morning,
Yes, good
sir.
morning.
Sarah,
Good afternoon, my father. Pardon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome you to today's webinar titled Sales and Communication and Procurement. I'm Sarah Wincy Benjamin, Professional Partnership Lead at WeConstructHub, your host for today. Excited to dive in with you. Once again, I want to welcome you all to the Sales and Communication in Procurement. Today, we will explore how clear communication can drive better deals, build stronger relationships, and ultimately project success in construction procurement. I remain your host, Sarah Lindsay Benjamin. Program of today I want to welcome every one of you for joining this meeting. I want to especially thank Mr. Jimmy Khoury. I want to thank the past president, yes, Michael Shonubi, for honoring this invite. I will say thank you so much for lending your expertise to this webinar. Thank you so much. So I will want to invite the founder at Reconstruct Hub to give us a brief introduction of what Reconstruct Hub is all about. And yes, Thomas, please you can unmute yourself and speak to us. Thank you. Yes, Thomas, are you on the call? Okay, while we wait for him to join us, I want to invite the past president, US Michael Shonobi, to give us a keynote speech. Thank you, sir.
well, Sarah, thank you very much. I must thank the organizers of this webinar for the honor of inviting me here to present the keynote speech and to generally welcome everyone who is on this call. Let me also thank the guest speaker, Jimmy Corey, for giving us time to put his presentation together and for at least educating us on certain aspects of the communication and procurement. Now, whilst welcoming you, I think this webinar don't have come at a better time than now because right now I believe that there are a lot of miscommunication or a breakdown of communication between those in procurement and the sales. And the basic reason is that the quantities of yields, I'm talking now based on the construction and the QS, who are supposed to provide the lead in procurement. When you prepare your bill of quantities and then somebody now uses that to procure material for construction, if your bill of quantities are not detailed enough, the specifications are not clear, then we have a problem in terms of communication. For instance,
Sorry, sorry, sir, Mr. Olayemi.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Mr. Olayemi, I
You can't
think
hear me?
we can't hear you very well, please. Yes, sir, we can't hear you very
Oh,
well, please.
you can't hear me very well. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I will disconnect my. Is it better now?
We don't want to miss your valuable
Is it
insights.
better now? Is it better now?
Yes, yes,
Hello.
it's better.
Is it better now?
Yes, sir, it's better now. It's better. Yes.
Jimmy, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you.
Better.
Yes, sir. Can you?
Yes, better.
To hear you. I could hear you when I was using my headset, but now I could hardly. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Let me adjust my device. Is it better now? Jimmy,
Yes,
can you
sir.
hear me
Yes.
now? Okay.
Yes, I can hear
Yes,
you.
yes, sir.
Because I was using an AirPod and I thought that would give me better in terms of audio. So, but I was surprised when Jimmy said he couldn't hear me. Now, like I was saying, because of the communication, the barrier in communication has always been that the technical specification that is needed for material procurement are not well detailed, and then that's where you have confusion. The the procurement has an idea, that's the technical people that are going to do the actual construction have an idea of what they are going to do, but they can't communicate that to those in the cell so that they have a clear understanding what is required. And then the wrong items are presented. And that brings me back to what I was trying to say, specification. We the QS, we have to go back to those days of proper detailed specification writing. Now, if you are not clear about what you want,
Detailed specs prevent scope creep and ensure everyone is building the same product.
but if you are not, if you don't give a clear understanding of what you require or what you want, the person that is going to sell will sell you a wrong idea, a wrong thing. For instance, we are talking about a town. If you have a clear idea, for instance, that in order to create a good aesthetic value for your floor, you
Sarah, can you hear Mr. Olayemi? Can you hear him? I can't hear him.
Sir, the network is breaking.
by 1200 mm tile.
Sir, the network is breaking.
And you just
Hello, sir.
said your floor
Your
tile
network is breaking. We can hear you
before
clearly.
I will log in because I had to change the network that I will not.
Okay, I think there's a network issue there, and before our keynote speaker comes back online, QS Thomas, are you on the call? Please, can you join to give us a brief history about WeConstructHub? QS Thomas, QS Thomas.
Yeah, sorry, I had to change my network again. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Can you hear you?
Hey, can you
Yes,
hear me?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can hear me.
Yes,
What
sir, we
about
can hear you. We can hear you now.
Jimmy? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, I think I had some challenges, and I must apologize to all those on the call. with my network. I had to change my network twice now.
Sarah,
Now,
maybe if
basically,
you
what
mute your mic, it will help.
if I mute my mic?
Okay.
No. For Sarah, if she mute her mic, it will not give
Okay.
a background echo to your voice, sir.
All right. Okay, that's all right. So, yeah, basically, what I was saying is that what has been the problem in terms of communication between procurement and sales. And I was saying that, look, basically, part of the problem is that the specification that is given to those to procure by those who prepare the schedule. When I say schedule of materials to procure, that is, I'm talking about the bill of quantities. They are not just detailed enough. It's just not enough to say cloth house. It must be specific. For instance, if the designer wants to give a specific aesthetic value and chooses to use 1200 mm by 1200 mm cloth house or 600 by 1200 mm, 300 by 600 mm wall tiles in the bathroom. And then somebody goes into the market and chooses to buy 600 by 600 mm for the floor, and then 300 by 150 for the wall. That will create a different aesthetic value from what the designer had in mind. And so it's not just to say tiles, but you must be specific in order to get exactly what you want. It's also about, even when you are doing your ceiling, the kind of ceiling, you have to be specific, you have to be detailed how that will be done. Otherwise, the end result might be different from what the original designer has in mind. And that's where that communication comes in. And when we talk about communication, we have to break it down to proper specification. How do you specify the materials that you want so that there is a clear understanding of what is required or what you want? So that the end result, because what is important also, like I said, is to achieve the end result of the designer, which probably will be the end result for the client, which will fulfill the client or the user's requirement. So basically, for quantity of yours, I think it's imperative that we have to go back to specification writing. Unfortunately, now because you have so many materials with different specifications in the market, but for you to get your desired material or component, you need to understand all the specification of all this. I don't know whether we still have the CTT specification writing as part of the course uh, program curriculum in most of our institutions of quantity surveying. If not, I think it's about time we start looking at specification writing. I know that also in most cases, majority of the young ones now, they just copy it and paste. But you need to understand so that there's a clear communication between uh, the procurement and the sales. The person who is going to buy already knows, or who is going to sell, from your specification knows what you want. Is either the person has or does not. So on that note, I don't think I want to take too much of your time so that we can allow Jimmy to give us the benefit of its presentation. I will also be sitting and waiting to learn from its fountain of knowledge. Once again, I want to thank the organizers for the honor of giving me for giving me the honor to be the keynote speaker at this webinar. And I thank all of you that are present, and I wish us a good and a learning experience. Thank you all very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful keynote speech. We really appreciate you for bringing out your expertise and as a father to lend your voice to this pressing issue on ground. Thank you so much, sir. And without wasting much of our time, I want to read the profile of Mr. Jimmy Khoury. Thank you. With more than 25 years of leadership experience across the Middle East and West Africa, Jimmy Khoury stands out as a result-driven executive shaping the future of operational performance and commercial growth. As a certified management consultant (CMC), Jimmy brings structure, discipline, and strategic clarity to every organization he supports. Currently serving as Operations Director at Bell Fab Ross Limited, Jimmy leads the largest waste paper collection network in West Africa, ensuring reliable supply chain that supports one of the continent's biggest tissue mill. His career spans diverse industries, including FMCG, pharmaceutical, beverages, downstream oil and gas, recycling, and cross-border logistics, giving him a uniquely broad perspective on business transformation. Beyond the executive role, Jimmy is also a respected corporate strategic instructor and AI trainer, having trained thousands of professionals in strategic operations, sales and distribution optimization, negotiation, and KPI-driven performance system. What sets him apart is his ability to integrate practical AI adoption into a decision-making and operational execution, helping teams, helping teams improve efficiency, competitiveness, and long-term impact. Having worked with global brands such as the Pernod and pizza distributor, Jimmy constantly aligns commercial strategy with operational delivery to drive measurable results. Jimmy Khoury is more than a leader in operations. He is a mentor, educator, and a catalyst for sustainable transformation, committed to empowering Africa's next generation of business talent through shared knowledge and disciplined execution. Please welcome Mr. Jimmy Khoury to the podium. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring this invitation. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Mr. Olayemi, thank you very much for this insightful session. I really appreciate. So, first of all, allow me to thank Mr. Joshua for inviting me to this session. Also, I would like to thank WeConstructHub for this privilege. I hope this discussion will become very practical and everybody will benefit from. So let me dive straight into this wonderful session. In fact, the topic is really critical and it makes a lot of sense. Just before I start, Sarah, is my voice clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. First, I want to say that I had the opportunity to work in both departments, in sales and in procurement. So basically, I understand the perspective of each of those two departments, and I know the strength and let me say the KPIs of each of these two departments. What do they expect? What are their challenges? And this is why I think this session is going to be very thoughtful, because we are going to handle both perspectives. First, I will start by saying that procurement and sales, in fact, they are not enemies, because they work hands in hands to lift whatever project we are talking about. Without the procurement, the project will not function. Without the supply or the sales, also the project will not function. So we should understand there's a mutual benefit in this business transactions that will occur. So I want to look at it that they complement each other. Now, one key factor here is that many project fails not because the product is not available or the price is not okay, because the communication between the buyer and supplier breaks down. So this is what we are going to tackle. First, let me just give a small note how the transition from the traditional procurement to online procurement. Normally, I've seen many procurement managers, they like the traditional method, which is the normal phone calls, the WhatsApp quotations, and the informal invoices. Now, people are moving to digital market method, whereby supplier and customers, they can meet each other's in a secured platform. And this is, I think, the mission of WeConstructHub, to combine both parties together in one platform. This will allow so many advantages like price comparison, like supplier verification, maybe also order tracking, and in fact, it's an easy purchasing process. So yes, the world now is moving into more into online procurement, and I think the future is bright for this type of businesses. As I said, the conflict normally happens between those two key departments in any business industry, is because each one of them has its own KPIs. So if you are into a sales department, you need to understand what are the main KPIs, the key performance indicators that drives the procurement behavior. Once you understand them, then you can pitch accordingly. So it's very critical to know the main KPIs for the procurement departments. Let me start by the first easy one, that's the cost saving. We all know that procurement job is to buy the best material at the lowest price. So that's a KPI that we can easily understand. Another KPI is the supplier performance. Many procurement departments, they hold records about the supplier performance over the years. And this will help them in future strategic decisions when they have big contracts. What does this mean? If you are a supplier and you are approaching a new company, you have to know that those people will be tracking your performance with them. This means that every transaction you do with them, you are supposed to perfect it, because it will be in your record. It's your bio, it's your record with this company, so make sure you maintain it very well. Another KPI also is the product compliance. It's not always about price, you know. There's the quality and there's the compliance of each company. Let me give you an example. If you are ordering diesel, for example, and you order for a quotation, and somebody quoted for you 1,000 naira per liter, you should understand that the price of a certain density in diesel is different than if you go higher or if you go lower. So you need to understand the product compliance for each company. For example, there are some companies that only take 0.85 density for a product. So there's no point quoting cheaper for a product that is 0.83. Doesn't make sense. Now, one of the key KPIs, which I've seen that many sales or suppliers fail to understand, and that's the supplier diversification. This is very, very key and very important. Many companies, many departments, they hold this KPI as a main drive for their operation. What do I mean by that? As a company, you need to have a diversification of supplier. Why we need that? Let me give you an example. If you are buying, let's say you are buying diesel from supplier X. I'm giving you an example in the oil and gas so that it looks realistic, all right? You are buying from a supplier A. And this supplier A is always giving you the best price, all right? You will be forced to buy from supplier B sometimes, even though his price is a bit higher. Why? Because you need to stick to the supplier diversification. Now you will ask me, Jimmy, what's the common sense if you buy from a supplier at a higher cost? What's the point? Well, from experience, if there's a scarcity of product, if there's no fuel, for example, available now, and you need diesel urgently, if you now refer to supplier B, which you have not been buying from, he will not supply you. He will supply the other regular customer for him. So this is very strategic. You have to maintain a diversification of supplier in case there's any scarcity of product, so that you can have a continuous supply without any shortage. Then this is very important. Also, the sustainability and ethics, this is also very critical when you want to understand the KPI of any procurement departments. You know, they work under tough auditing measures. So you have to understand if you see that their process and their compliance regulations is a little bit long, you need to understand is part of their, let me say, KPI performance that the company will be measuring how they are performing. Okay. Now the critical question here, Sarah, am I okay? Is everything okay? Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Now, a critical question we can ask is, how do I identify the KPI of a company that I'm approaching? Let's say I'm a supplier of cement and I want to approach a company. How do I know the KPIs so that I can handle them correctly and professionally? From experience, the best way to know that is through developing a solid relationship with the procurement department. For me, it's a personal relationship. It's a trust. It's a credibility that you build with time, all right? And that will allow you to get to know the company you are dealing with and to get to know their KPIs very well, so that you can pitch accordingly, all right? So a very simple question you can ask them, for example, during your conversation with the procurement team, you can ask, for instance, what risk worries your management the most? You need to know what's the risk that the company is worried about. Maybe delivery schedule, maybe penalties if the project is delayed, maybe the quality assurance. You need to find out. And you can only find out by maintaining a good relation with the procurement team and by asking strategic questions to know and discover this company. All right. So this is very, very important. Another factor also for you to understand the procurement is you need to understand the hierarchy of this company you are approaching. Is the person that you are approaching is the decision maker, or he has to refer to a higher level decision maker? Also, this is very critical, because you don't close deals with titles. I can be, for example, the procurement director or group procurement director, but the authority comes from the finance, for example, or from the GM or from the MD. So being a supplier, you need to understand the authority. Who is the decision maker in the company that you are approaching? So now we understood the KPI of the procurement so that we can pitch accordingly. Now we need to understand the sales KPI. What are those people driven by? What drives them to act professionally the way they are acting? It's very easy. We have the revenue growth. They want to increase their revenue. They have a market share expansion. They want to expand their market share. They want to get new customers. And they want to make sure that they collect their money on time. So a procurement department should understand what is driving those sales pitches. When he understands them very well, he can, deal with them and he can communicate better with them. Later, I will give you an example how failing to understand each other's KPI can create an issue and a conflict. All right. Now, knowing those two KPIs for those two departments, how we maintain a safe and a long-term transaction between those two is by aligning those two KPIs together. This is very key, very important. And whether you are from the procurement department and you are happy with this supplier because of quality, because of price, because of accuracy, because of good communication, at the same time, you are into the supplier side and you understand the challenges of those people, the best way is to draw a line whereby the KPI aligns. Let me give you an example where a supplier fails to understand the KPI and the alignment is broken down. Let's say the supplier is trying to push an immediate sales, and he doesn't take into consideration the delivery risk. And after he did the transaction, the procurement discovers that there is a risk in the delivery and it is causing them a delay in their project or in their site. So transparency here will definitely reduce the tension, and it will align both KPIs together. Then I would recommend also to build rapport with procurement. What do I mean by building rapport with procurement? This is very important. If I'm into the procurement department, I would prefer to deal with someone who acts, with a supplier who acts not as a supplier, but as a consultant. Because I have my challenges, I have my worries, I have my inventory, I have my deadlines. So I would always prefer to deal with a supplier who really understands my target, who really share market intelligence on time, who really share empathy. He might call me and say, Jimmy, the price of cement is about to increase. Please make sure you have enough, stock. So here, it's not about pitching me when you want to reach your target, or it's not about forcing unnecessary sales. It's about understanding my concern as a procurement. Once you understand my concern, definitely you are going to have a priority for any solid future, even big contracts. I might allocate them to people who are really acting as consultant and not as a junior sales people. Okay. Now, if we try to understand the Nigerian online procurement, because we talk about the online procurement, I wanted to highlight a few of the challenges why people are still maybe a little bit resisting or they fear the online procurement. In fact, I think everybody is fearing now the online payment. Nobody likes to pay online because of maybe trust issues, maybe because of lack of personal connection with the supplier. So here, I think the job of any platform, which already WeConstructHub is doing, is the supplier verification. This is very, very important. When I trust that the supplier I'm checking online is a verified supplier, and not just by seeing the badge that, okay, this is a verified supplier. When I really trust that this website is physically checking the supplier, he's visiting the supplier, he's checking his CAC registration, he's checking his tax registration number. So this will give me comfort. The more I can see a supplier being verified, the more I will start trusting the supplier. Okay, that's another aspect. Before I move into the future of procurement, which I'm always being asked about this, if the future procurement is going to be replaced by AI or not. I don't think it's going to be replaced by AI. We still need people to negotiate. We still need people to understand emotional intelligence, to be leading with empathy. So the human factor into the relationship between the procurement and the sales can never be replaced by AI. On the other hand, AI can just help you forecast any price drop in the future, forecast any inventory shortage. It's a tool, but it cannot replace the human factor. Okay, so my final message here is that procurement is not really about buying material, and sales is not really about pushing products. You know, they both work to reduce uncertainty so that whatever project that's being handled can move forward safely and with speed in order to avoid any penalty. Okay, so Sarah, I think we can take questions if you want.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful breakdown of this sales and communication and procurement. I have some questions lined up for you. I hope you're ready to answer them. Okay, question number one here on my list is, you mentioned that project failures are often caused by communication gap rather than material shortage. Can you share a real life example where better communication would have saved a deal or a project? Shall I take it again?
Okay. No. It's clear. Let me give you an example where the gap is causing a friction between both departments. Let's imagine a supplier has a diesel truck loaded with 33,000 liters of diesel. All right. He already loaded it and is urgently looking for a buyer. There's no place to deliver this truck. So what he did, he contacted one of his customers, regular customers, and he offered him a reduced price, let's assume, of 950 naira per liter example. So the normal price is 1,000, but because of the emergency to deliver, he doesn't have a place to deliver. He called a customer and he tell him, see, let me offer you 950 naira instead of 1,000. All right. Now here's the problem. Both sides, the supplier and the customer, they know that this customer, he needs to take approval, and the approval normally takes 24 hours. He needs to check with his management, he needs to check with the finance, he needs to check with the GM. All right. So let's say after 24 hours, he got the approval to go ahead and buy the diesel. Now, as I said, the owner of the truck, the supplier, was in urgent need to deliver it. There's no place to keep the truck. So he sold it to another client at 950. So when the procurement director or the procurement supervisor got the approval to get it, he will call, for example, the customer, and I will say, please confirm the order. This is where the conflict and frustration will happen, because the supplier will tell him, sorry, the price was discounted only yesterday. Here's the communication gap. Assuming the supplier had told the customer, see, I have a loaded truck and I'm ready to give a discount. If you take it now, I will give you a discount of 50 naira. This is an open and a straightforward message. This way, at least the customer will go and work fast on the approval. But he failed. That's why my message is always to supplier, please don't try to play smart. Nobody is ignorant. Be open. I'm having a truck. I don't know where to deliver it. I'm ready to sell it at 950 instead of 1,000 and leave the rest to the supplier. So do you see, Sarah, how this gap was created because of miscommunication? You get? And it will create a conflict. Even the supplier can be banned from entering this company. Why? Because of small, tiny miscommunication problems.
Okay, thank you so much for that clarification. The second question is, as procurement moves from informal system to digital marketplace, what is the biggest resistance you have seen from decision makers when adopting online procurement?
Yes, normally people resist anything new. All right, it's by human character. That's number one. But let's talk technically here. I think many people, they fear transparency, because online platforms make pricing, supplier comparison, and decision history visible. So decision makers will get worried that their negotiation style, the supplier preference, and all their past decision will now be questioned and audited. So I think this is one of them. Not to talk about the trust in technology and suppliers. People will say, okay, how can I trust a supplier which I did not personally meet? This is where, as I said before, the supplier verification is very, very important and very crucial.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question. Among procurement KPIs, such as cost savings, compliance, and risk mitigation, which KPI do sales professionals most commonly misunderstood?
Yes, that's a good question, Sarah. Let me tell you. Sales team normally focus on speed, volume, and closing transaction as fast as possible. So they may see that compliance check, supplier comparison, and approval workflow. They might see them at it's unnecessary bureaucracy than just valued drivers, So on the other side, procurement compliance is not about blocking the business. It's about protecting the organization from financial and legal operation risk. So compliance, sometimes supplier and sales, they might not really understand the need for this compliance. Let's do the transaction fast. I give you a good price and go ahead. It's not like that.
Thank you so much. Another question is, you spoke about identifying the real decision makers early. What practical sign or strategic question help reveal who truly hold final authority?
Okay. As I said before, a personal relationship with the procurement people in charge is also a way to know. With time, you will know who's the decision maker. But if you are approaching a new company, there are some hints that you might detect that, okay, the person I'm dealing with is not the decision maker. If I'm approaching someone and he tell me, okay, please send your quotation by mail for internal validation, I will know directly that he's not the decision maker. He has to get the confirmation from the GM or from the finance or from the MD. So it's from the way they react. Or for example, he will say management might sign off the deal. Okay, so this will indicate there's another layer of approval. Practically from experience, just one thing. From experience, Sarah, the person who asks about budgets and risk rather than technical question, he's often the guy who has the authority. So when you are pitching for someone and you think that he mostly talk about budget, about risk, about credit payment, he might be the decision maker. But if he talks about the quality of the product, the technicality of the product, probably he's not the final authority. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. The next question is, how can sales teams align terms better with procurement payment reality without weakening their own cash flow positions?
Yes. Yes.
Do you get the
Actually,
question?
yes. Sarah, this depends on the company's payment flexibility and the level of authority they give the sales department concerning the credit terms. For instance, some companies, they require immediate payment. In this case, the sales team has no room to negotiate, right? However, if the flexibility exists, now here it's all about practical negotiation approach between both the sales and the procurement. So as I repeat, if the flexibility is given to the sales department to negotiate, it's his negotiation power that will determine. My advice here is extended payment term. When the customer is asking for an extended payment term, you should only offer this extended payment term with an agreed minimum purchasing quantity. If I'm offering him 90 days and he's asking for 120 days instead of 90, I cannot grant it for him like that. So I will link it to a minimum quantity to be ordered. It's part of negotiation strategies and techniques.
Thank you so much. Another question. In your experience, what is the most common KPI misalignment that creates tension between procurement and sales teams?
Yeah, yes. I've seen so many times they have this misunderstanding, and what we call, as I said before, the supplier diversification, which is part of the risk mitigation, because it often creates frustration between the sales and the procurement. And most of the time, the sales will assume that the procurement team did not buy from them because of price. So they keep on lowering price. They keep on lowering price, trying to get this transaction without knowing that by further dropping price, the procurement will start, doubting their original price. Was he cheating me when he quoted 1,000 naira? Now he reached 600. You see? But when you understand that this company is just trying to diversify the supplier range they have, I might not decrease my prices further, even though the margin allows. All right.
Okay, thank you so much for taking our time to answer all these questions. I want to thank you personally for honoring this webinar. Thank you so much, sir. And I will say God bless you. God bless you so much for this. And we pray to have you on board some other time to come on board to tell us more about sales and communication. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So moving over to the next agenda. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Moving on to the next agenda, I would like to call on the founder, WeConstructHub, to give us a brief introduction of what WeConstructHub is all about. Joshua, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining today's section. Thank you, Mr. Jimmy. Thank you, QS Shonubi. We really appreciate your presence. And trust me, we've all learned a lot today, from simplifying procurement to how detailed specification is very important in sales and procurement. So for those of us just coming across WeConstruct Hub, I would like to just talk a little about what we do and what WeConstruct Hub is all about. So our vision for WeConstruct Hub is to become the foremost global hub for construction. That is, we want to be that platform where when you want anything as regard construction and you go there, you find it. More like your Google for construction. That is, you want to procure materials for construction, you come to WeConstruct Hub. You want to gather knowledge about construction, you come to WeConstruct Hub. So because of that, we are building a community, and at the same time, we are building a marketplace. A marketplace in the sense that you can go there, check for live material prices, and even procure. That is, you can buy. And like Mr. Jimmy explained during his section, the suppliers are properly vetted, and we are sure that it is what you order you are going to receive. And for the community is just a place where upcoming professionals, students can meet up with industry leaders like we had today. The community encourages sharing of knowledge and even networking opportunity. So that is what WeConstructHub is currently about. We are trying to make construction easy and also make procurement easy. So thank you everyone for joining today's section. And also, if we notice, we'll see we are hosting on a platform called PropTech Buzz. So let me just give a brief as to what PropTech Buzz is about. PropTech Buzz shares the same goal with WeConstructHub. Now, PropTech Buzz is a platform where when you go, you see updated news and update about any proprietary tech in the construction and real estate industry. So if you want to stay ahead in the construction industry, it is important to join PropTech Buzz. Now, not just in the Nigerian context, but even in the worldwide context, because on PropTech Buzz, there are founders and different organizations from different parts of the world. So, and we have a community on PropTech Buzz where we share insightful engagement. We talk about topics covering the whole of construction, from the QS aspect to the civil engineering aspect to the procurement aspect. Every aspect is covered in our PropTech Buzz community. So we'll be sharing the link on our comment section now. So just do well to click on the link and join the PropTech Buzz community. So I'll be handing over to our host, Sarah, to take it up from there. Once again, thank you all for joining.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joshua, for this brief introduction about WeConstruct Hub. As you can see, I'm wearing the t-shirt of WeConstruct Hub to show our solidarity to this great movement. And like I said on my LinkedIn page, I will be posting this every two months. So just keep following us on our LinkedIn page at WeConstructHub and our YouTube channels and our WhatsApp platforms. You get information about when the next episode will be on, and you don't want to miss the next episode. The next episode will be having a female this time around, an architect coming to share with us some insight about procurement. So I don't want you to miss it. Keep following us. By next 2 months, we'll start the webinar. So we'll keep you posted. The link to our pages will be shared in the comment section. Please do where to follow us, do where to comment, do where to share, do where to repost all our activities. Thank you so much for joining, and I want to especially thank you all for coming on board today to listen to what we have to say. And I pray that all this we have said and Mr. Jimmy has said will be put to use, not just, I think I picked one thing from what Mr. Jimmy said. You don't close deal with title. That hits deep. So you don't close deal with title. You don't say, I'm the president, so you close the No, we are looking for the financial operators there to close the deal. That is where the money lies. So this is a new drive. So people are going into sales and supply. These are things, the KPIs you need to watch out for, and this, I will pray that this help you in your procurement and sales journey. Thank you all for coming on board, and I want to say a closing prayer for this program. Lord, we thank you for this meeting. It's said, may we be highly exalted. Thank you for everything. Thank you for making it a success. And thank you for everyone that connects. Lord, bless and guide every one of us in Jesus' name. Amen. So I think we'll have to do our headshots, please. We'll, I don't know whether the admin is ready to take the snapshots of everyone. Admin, are you ready? If the admin is ready, we need a screenshot on our platforms. Admin, are you ready?
Could you repeat it? Couldn't hear you clearly.
We need to take the screenshots. Are you ready to take it?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, it's taken.
Okay. It's taken already? Okay.